Trauma in kids is like trauma in adults in the sense that it's any event that overrides the stress response system.
It could be anything from an incarcerated parent to witnessing abuse in the home, witnessing some kind of violence in the homes, exposure to substance abuse.
What is trauma to us, or what is not trauma to us, is often trauma to children, mainly because they just can't, they're not in control of their own environment or their own world.
Oftentimes the kids that we see that are coming to us with these traumas, they're just not interested in a lot of the things that are happening. The more the positive activities, the things that I experienced as a child, they're not getting those. And so you'll see a withdrawal from these kids. You'll also see acting out. You'll see behaviors. Sometimes they're attention-getting behaviors. Sometimes they're just behaviors because they don't know how else to function.
Trauma Lens Care is the voice for the children in our county. When our children are exposed to horrible and horrific things at home or in the community,
TLC is an opportunity for law enforcement to help those children, to empower teachers the next day with knowledge about what happened in the home.
Prior to the TLC program, we would leave the house and it was uncertain what was going to happen to the child, if any follow-up was going to be conducted or what was going to go on in that child's life.
Our kids are not resilient to what they see and what they're exposed to. And when we do not step in and provide supports to them at the point of trauma, then what we end up doing is covering up trauma and having to deal with it at a later time.
If you look at the evidence, if you look at the data that is surrounded by the Adverse Childhood Experiences study, and what we now know anecdotally, it is very clear that there is a connection between early childhood trauma and behavioral health issues and physical health issues later in life.
I like to say that scared children do scary things, and if we don't intervene, then we are going to be dealing with hurt adults who hurt people.
Because of the unique situation that law enforcement officers find themselves in, they are the first responders. They are the individuals who go into these homes where children are present, and they often are the only ones who witness firsthand the trauma that these young children are experiencing.
When we have given a teacher a lens of what occurred in the home the night before, how we treat that child and how we respond to that child changes. So instead of reacting to the child, we now have a lens that's going to allow us to respond.
There's always something that's happening in a kid's life, and we use the phrase, if there wasn't a problem, there wouldn't be a problem. But you got to dig deep, and you got to know who these kids are and where they're coming from, so that when something does happen in the class, you can provide the additional supports or the appropriate supports, both for that child and for the class as well.
Anybody who is considering using Trauma Lens Care, is that you are creating a diversion, you are creating an intervention that will lead to better outcomes later in other people's lives. It's going to increase public safety. It's going to increase community awareness. It's going to increase the outcomes for these children when they become adults, or even right then. And that's what this job is.
But it's incredibly powerful that with a simple phone call or a simple entry of data into the TLC application, that the law enforcement officer sets into motion the series of events that make all the difference in the world of that child, allowing that child and people around that child to address the trauma.
TLC is truly the voice for our kids.
Trauma Lens Care means to me, as the superintendent of a school district, the ability to build greater collaborations within our community, especially between law enforcement and our schools, to better serve our children. That's the bottom line.
It means a lot to an officer to have the TLC program available. It's comforting to know that when you leave the scene, the child is going to be provided resources and additional help after that event is over.
This is public safety, and it's a collaborative effort. And we all have to work together to use the resources that are available and share the information that can be shared for the greater good or for the collective impact.
Trauma Lens Care, making a difference.
Helping communities.
Changing lives.
Together we can make a difference.